Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Season 1 of Guardian Allies, and the first episode where all of us are here.
It only took one season.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. 25%. 25% of the time we have full attendance. So I'm really excited about tonight because when we last left our heroes, they were in Nightmare Berlin. And we don't know how they're going to get out. So I've been pretty anxious about this one, trying to see how you guys are going to get out of here. Let's why don't we start by hearing from everybody? Let's get introductions from everybody, who you are and who you're playing. We'll talk a little bit about the system and what you fabulous chat can do to help us out, and then we'll jump right into it. So why don't we start with Allie?
Oh, hello. Hi, I'm Allison. Playing Paladin, power armor bear mom with a PhD in something.
She can't remember what. Jules.
Girl scatterbrained.
Hey there, I'm Jules Watts. I am playing Amethyst Ace, electromagnetic spectrum manipulator extraordinaire, and part-time musician, I guess. Don't know the best way to put it. That's music.
Yeah, all right. Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin Zarnicki. I'll be playing the part of Taro, a 13-year-old precognitician. If any of you follow the other shows, you know that this is just the younger version of Taro, who's a super villain.
Palmer.
That is me. I am Palmer. I will be playing Dr. Splendid, a professor of archaeology and part-time hero whose powers are mostly in his head. And
in his head? Like they're not real, or just like...
Nope, as in they are mental powers.
Got it.
Oh!
Professor X's powers are all in his head, too.
Sorry, that got me. Like, wait a minute, what?
Wait a minute, hang on. We're playing this game with a mundane...
That's a great idea for another show, though.
Yeah, right? James.
I'm James. I am playing Blackjack, telekinetic shield specialist, and apparently the watcher of Taro in his young youthfulness.
Mentor? Guide?
Yeah, that's a term for it. Explainer
of the dirty jokes Taro accidentally makes?
There you go.
There we go.
Big brother figure.
We've been on quite an adventure with this crew. It all started when a ship came up against the shore of 1940 Britain with a sleeping crew on it, with "Help Me" written in German in red paint across the inside of the ship. And they managed to trace this, the origin of this ship, to a more kind of remote location just off the coast of Norway, and found a ship there that held a woman who is in some sort of stasis, and the Nazis apparently had been doing some kind of experimenting on her, and her powers were activated while she was sleeping, and so she had been using them to control people around her, up to and including killing some of her aggressors. So when you got there, you saw your nemesis, one of your nemeses, I suppose, from a past life in the distant future, Neverman, who tried to convince you to use her powers to get yourself back to your own time. But in so doing, he didn't succeed. But the woman on the table, Gertrude, took matters into her own hands and pulled you into her nightmare with her. Once you got there, you found Dr. Splendid, who has been trapped there for some time, and have been fighting to get out of this archway. And you were fighting a couple of giants and a giant shadow dragon. You managed to get to the archway. Gertrude got through the archway and appears to be either awake or on her way to being awake. And you're not 100% sure how you can get back quite yet, although Dr. Splendid may have a clue. But meanwhile, while we had Dr. Splendid, Blackjack, Ace, and Paladin all in this dream world, Taro fell into a seizure and saw, presumably this is something we've seen before, saw a flash forward of his future or a version of a possible future. So we're going to pick up there in just a moment, but chat, you fabulous people who are hanging out with us tonight, if you want to help us out, you can donate to the show and kill the stream boss. And if you do, those of you who defeat the stream boss get to select one of our heroes and give them a hero point, which allows for a reroll. So they may need you today to get out of Nightmare Berlin and to help manage what's going on in the rest of the world, which we barely touched on. Yesterday, Norway was invaded. It is April 9th, 1940. Oh, thank you, Palmer. It is April 9th, 1940, and Norway was last night. German feet landed on Norwegian soil with the intent to invade. So, yeah, let's just jump right into it, shall we? Did I miss anything? How are we doing? Good.
Oh, geez. Were we on? We were on our way out of the nightmare, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's where we were. But I think we're actually going to pick up back on the ship with Taro. We're going to catch another glimpse of one of his possible future. Taro once again sees himself. He is old in spirit at least, though his face looks to be about 50. He sits on a chair made of molded wood, inexpertly stained a warm, streaky red. He's reading a book, sipping a cup of steaming liquid. He stops, freezes. He looks out the window to a breathtaking view. A spectacular mountain range greets him, peaks buried in clouds, valleys shrouded in mist, golden strains of a brief sunrise lighting at a fire. Shaking, he places his cup into its saucer. He watches as the mountains crumble and decay, succumbing to millennia of shifting ice, running water, vicious winds. They sink into a barren wasteland that stretches endlessly and are devoured by an ever-expanding sun. Darling. A warm hand spreads across his neck, gently pulling him back to reality. The reader sees the stunning mountain view once again. Taro turns and we see him looking at a woman. We only see her from behind with shoulder-length dark hair. His blue eyes are tired and he sighs. You saw it again, the woman states.
Yes.
Yes, he responds, his face drawn. He looks out to the floor-to-ceiling window and we see the couple from behind. She holds his hand and puts her head on his shoulder. That's all you see these days, the crumbling mountains.
Better than burning cities.
Is it? He sighs again.
No, not really. Somehow after every horrible portent I've seen and prevented, this one's the worst. Because I can never stop it.
He turns, putting his chin on the top of her head.
How do you fight the sun? The ice? The wind? I thought coming here would be peaceful. It reminds me of my futility every day.
I know, she says.
Why do you stay here when you can see my every apocalyptic thought?
Because I see your noble intention.
It's all so meaningless. None of what we're doing matters.
She shakes her head and we see her take his face between her hands. If it doesn't matter, I'm free to make my own meaning. And today my meaning is warm buttered toast and perfectly runny eggs. Once you're finished crumbling mountains, come eat. She walks away. Taro's silhouette is backlit by the beautiful picture window. A bird alights on a tree. He straightens his back, turns, and walks out of frame, leaving the beautiful view behind. Now let's return to our nightmare, where we were fighting two massive giants with huge axes and a shadow dragon. Gertrude's been pulled into the archway, and you see her standing there in her Nazi uniform, turning back and looking at all of you. She's still holding that small rag doll that she was holding when you first saw her. And she extends her hand out toward Dr. Splendid. Her voice spills the space as it begins to collapse around you. The dragon and the giants are starting to crumple into the fabric of the dream, and it's pierced with floating motes that are growing and consuming the darkness. She reaches her hand out to Dr. Splendid and says, "Something precious from a time of innocence and certainty, something that gave you comfort."
And he's actually still got this thing from before, this wheeled bovine ceramic toy that he doesn't fully remember, except that it's something important. And so he focuses as much as he can on that, standing there next to the archway.
What about the rest of you?
One light of hope. When all the world's eyes turn toward the heavens, and Ace remembers and thinks of the Apollo 11 landing on the moon, where everyone looked toward what the future would be. That's what started mankind's kind of dreams. Like, yes, we can make it into space. And she remembers that dream, and her dad gave her a plushie when she was a little girl, a little plushie lunar excursion module. And on the bottom of it, he had stitched "Ad Astra" means to the stars, but it was in his handwriting. And that always gave her, it's like, this is the limitless future. It's vast and infinite. It's not for the weak, but it is glorious. And that's what she thinks of immediately.
Ooh.
So it appears in her hand and it starts glowing, just like Dr. Splendid's, just like this archway that Gertrude is in.
Ooh, this is where we get to whip this out. All right. So, Paladin is immediately thrown back to her high school days. She sees a Polaroid photo. It is the colors are washed out and awful, but we can see Paladin looking like a mess, standing with another girl, and in the little white part below the photo says Amber May 2025 with a little heart between their names.
So once again, this appears in your hand and begins to glow a piercing bright white light.
She holds it to her chest and takes a deep breath and says, and she actually starts to smile.
What about Blackjack?
Blackjack thinks back to a happier time in his past, and whenever he is sitting on the deck of his old homestead and playing cards with his father, and he thinks back to a deck of holographic cards that change to any deck of cards that is in the known universe at the time.
That's really cool. so it appears in your hand and nearly blinds you with its brightness. And as the four of you are holding these artifacts, the motes of light that are floating around start growing larger and larger, and you become one of them. You are consumed by the light from this artifact, and as you keep your mind focused on this feeling, even if you don't have a memory of it, that feeling of security and certainty, the whole world around you washes out in bright white, and then plunges back into darkness. And each of you has a blinding, searing headache. And you hear the familiar sound of waves lapping against the ship. The familiar feeling of a boat bobbing up and down in the water. And you open your eyes, just barely able to see, as Gertrude sits upright on this slab. And at the same time, Taro, you come out of your seizure and see her sit up and take a deep breath. She looks around the room. Her eyes are sunken, her cheeks are hollow. There's dried blood caked in long streaks coming from her eyes. And she's kind of casting frantically about the room. She's touching things, grabbing things, shuddering at the slightest sound. And you see Neverman at the controls. And he turns around and kind of arches a brow and says, "Well, damn. I thought we had something there. What did you do? How did you wake up?"
Huh?
He's looking at Gertrude.
Now, I have a question about this situation. Was Neverman around in? Does Dr. Splendid know who this person is, or was this all happened while he was not aware?
I think you would be familiar with him by name, but not by sight.
Okay.
Because if you, my understanding was that you kind of infiltrated this trip and this ship. Yeah. So he was in charge of the ship and what was going on it. So you maybe have seen him kind of from the distance. He was the mastermind of this whole thing. Okay.
Are there any other Nazis in this room?
No. Well, there is.
I'm going to punch him then.
Okay, hang on. I will amend that. His henchman Manta Ray is crouching over Taro.
Okay.
So,
all right.
There's two. Yeah, just try and sock him in the face. Yep.
All right. I guess you can roll an attack.
I'm so bad at that.
Yeah, I know you're not very good at that. Yeah.
It's literally the thing I'm the worst. Let me see here.
He's overcome with emotion, so he's doing something he's not super good at.
I'm not a metagamer. Let's see. So I have a -1 to this roll.
Okay.
Let me roll it.
It's gonna be a tough one.
I have no skill. It's fine. Failure is expected.
All the good vibes.
Oof.
Haha, 2.
Oof. Yeah. So you, in a fit of passion, wind up and as you go to hit him, he kind of does one of these, like leans back and you sort of follow your own swing and stumble
Oh well,
downward.
that's embarrassing.
Oh dear.
And he
and that's in character.
I guess Dr. Splendid actually might have woken up somewhere else, but we'll smooth over that. There we go. You're here.
Yep.
You ran. Yeah. So Gertrude spits blood out of her mouth.
Okay. Upon seeing Gertrude's spit blood, I would like to invoke a complication of paladins. Now, which one do you think fits better, helping the weak or the Hippocratic Oath?
I feel like helping the weak is apropos here.
All right. So Paladin gets up. She was thinking of doing some scrapping, but upon seeing Gertrude spitting actual blood out of her actual mouth, Paladin then sort of rushes as well, and you good as you can in a suit of metal armor, over to Gertrude's side and just kind of let's see. She gets out of her suit first of all, and then places a hand on Gertrude's back and asks, "Okay, are you in any pain right now?"
Yes.
Because I just okay. Where do you feel it?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay. Anything else? Like, is it? Do you just hurt all over? Do you feel like your lungs are a little messed up? Do you feel?
I don't. It's hard to breathe.
Okay.
My head hurts.
Okay. We can help your breathing right now. You just gotta calm down a little bit, because some of that tightness in your chest is probably a panic attack. Okay.
Yes.
So we're just gonna in through the nose, out through the mouth, dear. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. Okay. And she takes one of Gertrude's hands and just gently grabs it. You're gonna be okay. Okay. I'm a doctor. We can get this sorted out. And as for these hooligans, I feel like my compatriots have it handled. And she's gonna whip her head around to probably Blackjack and say, "Take care of these fashy bastards, would you? I've got a patient."
I'll
Fash the fash.
I'll look around and see who's ripe for the punching.
And I think Neverman, after Dr. Splendid's he's sort of like mild surprise. He's like, oh. He looks at Blackjack standing up and goes, oh, okay, all right, let's all calm down. No need for things to get out of hand. And Gertrude turns to him and says, "You maniac, what have you done to me?" He goes, look, I merely executed the work that your government had planned anyway.
You nearly executed this woman. It's very clear you don't know anything about keeping anybody in stasis. Mr. Future of High Tech. Just shut your mouth.
I kept her alive. Okay.
You kept her barely alive. Now I'm going to fix what you wrecked. Blackjack, just swell his mouth up so he can't keep talking.
There's no need. We can all get back to our time. This is ridiculous. Why are you? I am on your side, people.
Blackjack's fist starts glowing purple with telekinetic energy.
Oh God.
And what I'm going to be doing while Blackjack is revving up, I'm going to remotely focus and start induction on heat and melt the floor a little bit so his boots are stuck to the ground. So if he tries to run, he's going to go ass over to. It's an attack on the floor, kind of using induction.
Okay, I think we need to roll for initiative here.
Hooray!
Let's do it.
All right, initiative.
Let's get some battle music going here.
Okay, well that's okay. It's a 9. It works.
Okay.
And I'm an 18.
I'll be
Not
going
literally,
on
but
30.
30, yike. Wow.
I think that's a natural 20 roll.
Does that get you anything
Yes,
special?
it was. I don't think so. I mean, while everybody else is rolling, I can look and see, but I don't believe so.
Sure. Dr. Splendid. Who are we missing here? Taro?
Since I still can't figure out how to speak roll 20, 19. All told.
Maybe that's why you can't speak roll 20, is because you only rolled. It specifically asked for you to roll 20.
That's fair.
I put all my dots in magic and persuasion, okay?
Okay, let's see how they do. Not great, guys. They don't do great.
Well, bash the fash, as they say.
I have not been able to roll very well in recent memory. It's been rough.
Don't
It's
feel
been very
bad.
beneficial for us, though.
You're big valid.
So obviously Dr. Splendid goes first. What would you like to do?
He's so not useful in this situation. Yeah, a -1 to try and punch is a bad thing. Let's see.
Pop him with your Derringer.
I mean, he's not that great at that either.
Hold your action. Hold your action. I'll set you up.
No, actually, I think now that the initial, he was, mad after first waking up, especially at this guy that he knows is in charge. But now he's done a foolish thing and realized that it was foolish, and he's going to, I think he's going to go take over for Paladin because she has power armor and he does not. So he will go.
I suppose.
He will go over to Gertrude and say to Paladin, I'll take care of her. You take care of them.
All right, you know what to do.
I can take care of it.
She relays everything that she can figure out about Gertrude's condition from questions she's asked, as well as other medical evidence. All right, that's what I've got so far. All right, and
Great.
she hops back in her armor and just kind of stretches like, all right.
Cool. Just for if it comes up, I think probably every initiative, he's just going to be taking care of Gertrude's medical needs, and he rolls a 29 on a treatment.
Okay, so you're able to calm her down a little bit and get her a little more. She's some of her anxiety is starting to calm down.
Okay.
All right, Terrell.
I need to step away for just 1 second, but use my action to set up whoever needs it with a +5.
Do you want to pick a specific person?
Whoever plans to do something combat-y.
Okay.
Lay a smack or a shot. Yeah, Blackjack's my man.
Blackjack
so,
seems
I'm
like
gonna
a good
I'm gonna help
option,
him
yeah.
call his shot.
All right.
Nice.
All right. Right back.
Ace is up. I love this idea of
All right, so
Welding to the floor.
I will use using the electromagnetic spectrum kind of thing. I will do the power of induction, which is running a magnetic current.
frick, that's awesome.
For it to create heat. And if anyone's ever done with the induction, like pot on the stove, it's just like you put your hand on it. It's like, but you run the current and then it gets hot like real quick and melt the bottom of his shoes, so they'll fuse to the floor.
Okay, so let's get is this this is an attack you would roll for?
It's more of
Like a rate?
it's a transmutation ability, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead and roll it. Let's see if I'm going to give him a chance to dodge it. So freaking awesome, though.
Yeah, so that would be her roll against his dodge, I guess.
That's right. Yeah. I keep seeing Palmer's amazing rolls and thinking that was your roll. Okay, yeah. So you like do your thing. How does this look? What does induction look like?
It doesn't. There's no visual thing for it. That's why it's
Nice.
there, and it's then it's hot. And I just look, it's just like deadpan, just angrily staring at him, and just, have it go off at his feet. So it's just like that little area gets really hot, and that's
For sure. So I think he starts, his feet just start getting hot, and he kind of looks at you and sees you like focusing, and he goes, ah, and does like a little hop dance thing, and manages to get out of the way of your welding treatment.
Shit.
Blackjack.
You gotta land sometime, boyo.
All right.
You got that +5.
Oh yeah, I guess I should probably write that in. I am
because he's hopping, so that means he's off balance. That's what's giving you the +5 because he knew he was going to dodge it. That works. I
like that. Good flavor.
Yep. And I'm gonna do what I can to whack him.
That'll play.
23.
All right. Okay, so definite hit. Now, damage resistance check. I gotta roll my toughness. What is your damage?
Damage is DC 25. Or 10. 10 is the actual damage. The DC is 25. Good lord.
Nice. I rolled a modified 24. Rah! Good one. Okay, so I fail by 1 degree. So Neverman is, you can describe what that epic hit looks like.
So as he is jumping out of the way to prevent himself from being stuck to the floor, Taro points and says he's going right there in his accent that I can't copy. And I just, knowing that I trust my little brother buddy, I just swing as hard as I can to that spot, and suddenly his jaw appears right in front of my fist.
I'm doing that Willy thing from Temple of Doom.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Very satisfying.
Appears in front of your fist. That's excellent. So Manta Ray kind of backs up, and he starts to, like, you see like bubbles going under his kind of slimy weird skin, and he like and splits into 3.
Forgot that guy could do that.
And I think 2 of them run out of the room, and the other stays behind. That'll be his action.
Okay.
So they go opposite directions. Paladin.
Was there any chance to lose track of which one is the real one? Or does he not work like that?
Well, I think that you'd be the most likely one to get it.
Because, that insight of mine, which is bone stock, a bonus of 17.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that. Let's see.
Okay. I got a 29.
29. You know that the real one just ran to the north.
I am going to zoom north after this guy.
This is so great. Okay, so Paladin is zooming. That'll be your move action, so you should be able to... You're very fast too, yeah? You've got some speed.
I mean, yeah, but what I'm doing, I am purposefully walking so he can hear me coming, because I'm going to crush his little head.
So he went pretty fast. Are you trying to keep up with him?
I'm gonna try
down the hallway.
I'm gonna try and intercept him at some point if I have to, about the flight, which is very fast.
Okay. Are you going to attack?
Sure.
He's in your line of sight.
I can shoot him, can't I?
You sure can.
I'd like to shoot him.
All right, go for it.
All right. And that's a shot. 16.
16 is a miss. Yeah, here's your.
I cannot hit anything with this gun anymore.
And this guy, you remember, he has lightning reflexes. You fought him before. He is a slippery fellow. So he hears your gun running up, and as soon as it hits its peak to actually shoot him, he's on the floor tumbling without missing a beat and just keeps running.
All right, I'm gonna flick on my IR vision so I don't lose him.
Okay, awesome. I love it.
I'm gonna keep hitting him. Come here, bitch. Go and get you.
Okay. What is Neverman gonna do here? What is Neverman gonna do? So he's wearing like a whole bunch of different gadgets. He's got like some kind of utility belt. He's got some sort of like mechanisms in his boots and his wrists as well. And he just kind of looks around the room, and he activates his boots and his hands, and he says, "You fools! That was the only chance for you to get out of here." And he is going to. I don't think he can get through because this room is like a few decks below. And I think he's just gonna leave. He's just gonna get out the door that you originally came in on that heads to the main corridor of the ship. So this is not where Manta Ray is running. This is to the east. So he boom, kind of like hovers and flies through the door and is running away. Dr. Splendid.
I think at that point he does not want this Nazi collaborator, basically, / evil villain to get away. I think he'll sort of like look at Gertrude and just say, "Will you be okay?" And then he'll like pull out his special issue weapon and chase after. And Scrim, you are mute.
Sorry. All right. So okay. You see him he's very easy to spot. He's hovering down this main corridor, and he's got his like blasters on. Very limited maneuverability. You think he could probably go a lot faster if he was out in the open. So it's a good idea to get him right now. So you've got a shot on him.
Okay. Let me, at least have a little bit of skill in shooting stuff. So let me pull that.
It'd be so awesome if you were the one that got him. Nope, sorry. That's a mess.
Do I have any hero points though? I don't think I do.
I do not remember.
I think you start a session with one.
Look. Oh yeah,
I believe that's true.
All right. Well, this seems like a good point to use it. This would be pretty good. I'm probably going to get a worse roll, but we'll spend a hero point to reroll it.
Let's do it.
Nope, that was much better.
That is a hit. What's your damage?
That is what is not very good. Where's the weapons on here? It is a DC 17.
DC 17. Okay, so he beats the toughness. But because you where are you aiming at? Are you just kind of center mass?
No, because that sort of feels like shooting someone in the back. Right. Shooting someone in the back of the leg is probably more what he would be trying to do. Because at least then you're like, you know what I mean? It's not like totally. I'm shooting this person in the back.
You've got
so
a bullet
like in the
Charlie horse.
Yeah, sort of like, hey, you can't get away. Also, Dr. Splendid is a hero, so people deserve to face justice, not be murdered. So,
Okay, and I think you get lucky with the shot, and you hit one of his foot blasters. And it looks like you've got it a little bit on the fritz. Doesn't seem to be working quite
might
as well.
slow him down. Okay.
He swears loudly.
And
Oh, go ahead.
no, he was just going to just say, you can't get away.
Love it. Taro.
I'm gonna try to get a flash of the future of we're all still fighting Neverman, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a precog flash of him for the sake of demoralizing him next turn.
Okay. Is that a check?
It can be if you want it to be. That power is so steeped in if the GM says so.
How about you just roll, and I will use that roll to let you know the degree to which you succeed.
A 15 as it lay.
15. Okay. So you're moving towards him, or?
Just, eyes rolling back, seeing his future for a second. I'm as inconspicuous as a 13-year-old kid in a page boy cap can be in the middle of a fight against Nazis on a secret base.
Okay. Ace.
Don't mind me!
All right, he's running. I'm going to take flight and get myself up close to him. It's just like, I know your weakness, your gadgets. Suck this. Electromagnetic pulse. I'm shutting them all down.
Oh, I love
Their
it.
tech.
Careful, sweetheart.
I mean, then again, I feel like Pal smart enough to shield.
Oh, that's so perfect.
You didn't properly ground it.
I'm flying. Targeted, and I get to target him specifically.
Okay.
Anything that's
All
shiny
stuff.
and makes pee noise.
Roll a ranged attack, and we'll see how much damage this does. With whatever skill you're using here. This is so great. $23, a solid hit.
And I'm trying to fry all of his electronics.
So great.
Zap! We've all been there.
What is the damage on that?
Damage is 100 bajillion manillion.
Ah!
No, it is 10 damage specifically to his electronics.
Okay, perfect. So that's 25. I did not roll well. You can specifically target 2 pieces because he got 2 degrees of failure. So I won't give him the usual penalties, but I'll give him 2. So he's got a bunch of different things kind of all over. What specific parts do you want to target?
First, destroy his maneuverability. So that means all of his boots.
Okay.
So
All the boots.
And
All 5 of them.
I don't know. That's the thing. Is like I don't know how many boots he might be wearing. I don't know how many legs he has.
He's just a regular human.
3.
Regular human.
I make no assumptions about the number of limbs on any other humanoid, especially from the future. And
My ice skates.
and question: does he have anything that's like kind of plugged into his head, his ears, stuff like that? Anything on his head?
He has the that like gold helmet that seemed to protect him from Taro and from Gertrude.
Let's have that start smoking and spouting.
I
green
like that.
smoke.
I like that.
magic
Smoking helmet.
Yeah, because it's like, well, I don't know exactly what it does, but if it's on his head, he's going, and it starts smoking, he's probably going to want to rip it off if it's going to blow up.
So he does like the classic villain. He holds onto his head and he's like, no! Beautiful.
Power of science.
You should have shielded it correctly.
You should have studied more in physics class, shouldn't you?
Black Jack.
You could have listened to me.
So he is trying to get away. So
Get his ass!
yeah, I'm just gonna chase him down and try and take him out.
All right. Sorry, which one are you chasing
I'm
again?
going after Neverman.
Never mind. Okay.
All right.
Getting the big guy.
And I can get to him to hit him, right?
How fast are you?
I mean, not super
Fast enough.
You would need to have at least a couple ranks in some sort of speed to catch up to him completely, or it'll take you the full. Because he's pretty fast with his rocket boots, which are now destroyed.
All right, then I will go ahead and use my full round movement to chase him
All right.
because I do not have any speed powers.
No speed. Blackjack. And I'll say with that, you do make it to him. So unless he gets out of the way, you should be able to get you next round. It's Manta Ray's turn.
What's he doing? What's the little coward doing?
Manta Ray gonna do? So first off, the one fighting paladin is gonna go ahead and throw a knife at you.
A knife.
Yeah.
You got there, Manta Ray. A knife! No!
Yeah, I guess you're wearing an armor suit. That doesn't seem terribly effective.
Literally bringing a knife to a robot fight.
I have protection 10.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. Does that kind of just like plink off of me?
Protection 10. That might be against damage. Not let's take a look. Protection.
Yeah. So basically what that does is add to your toughness, but also if it's impervious, then it will also, anything that's half that amount will just not have an effect. So Dr. Splendid's gun, for example, would be completely useless against somebody with that impervious toughness level.
Yeah, I don't think I have impervious toughness, but I do have toughness.
I think that just adds to your toughness roll.
Yeah, it adds to my
So
toughness.
you're less likely to get hurt.
Yes.
But I
Anyways.
don't think it changes the actual hit. So this will be against your dodge plus 10.
My dodge plus 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my dodge is 18. Plus 10, I guess, is 28.
Okay.
I don't know where the plus 10 is coming from.
That's just how it's measured.
Okay.
I rolled a 31.
Oh my god. This Manta Ray, I'm going to split his little head like a watermelon.
So the protection, does it prevent injury? So she still gets one level of...
So it'll still be a toughness check. I think the one that she's got just increases the toughness for the roll.
It increases the toughness, I suppose. Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah, because I have it noted down here in the misc column of my character sheet.
Okay.
Anyways,
That's fine.
what sort of damage save is this?
Yeah, so roll toughness. I don't think...
That's a 29, Chief.
29. All right, yeah, so you are okay.
So it just kind of hits and then just goes ding.
Yeah, like I think it probably hits your armor and just sort of bounces off. And
And
he,
just kind of so she just kind of cocks her head like, I thought we went over this. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
and it's your turn.
Is he in range with me for me to like grapple him and like?
I think you could easily do that, yeah.
Okay,
With your suit,
here I come.
using flight, yeah, you absolutely
Yeah. Unlucky for you, I'm not using my gun. I'm using my, and she just kind of throws it down. My hands. And she flies at him. And I'm going to roll unarmed. Here we go.
All right.
Cross your fingers, everybody. That's another 29.
Solid, a 29. You are rolling rocks. Yes, that is absolutely it.
So what she does is she kind of grabs his shoulders, lifts him, and then just puts him down very forcefully.
Gorgeous.
I'm
How much
going to
damage
get
is
hit.
that?
Shoot. Unarmed. Let's see. Oh, okay, so I have an enhanced strength H with the arm actuators, and I believe it might be a strength thing. So,
Yeah, I do think it's strength based.
okay.
What's your strength?
My strength total is 10 with beautiful hydraulics.
Let me see. Where's unarmed on this guy?
I can also try and pull it up if my computer will cooperate. Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it. There you go. La da 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 da.
All right, while you look up the damage on this guy,
Yes.
we'll go back over to Neverman. So he is crippled, unable to move in the way he wants to. So
Oh no.
he still has his like hand thingies, but his helmet is causing him some trouble, and it's sort of obscuring his vision. So what he's gonna do, he's gonna use his action actually to rip it off. And then he turns and climbs up the nearest flight of stairs. He is determined to get away from you. He can see he's outmatched in this fight. Yeah, he's in a rough situation here. Okay, Dr. Splendid. You just saw Neverman run up the stairs.
Okay. He's gone up the stairs. He is faster than Dr. Splendid is. I think. Let me see.
Can you roll perception for me?
Yes, I can. 18.
So in the craziness, you see Blackjack running up behind, and you see behind him is another manta ray.
Okay. The Blackjack seems unaware of that, or it's behind both.
Maybe I'll get Blackjack to roll perception too, just in case.
Hey, Scrim, I figured it out. So it is strength. It is just the raw strength bonus value from what I can tell.
So I rolled a 15. How bad did you hurt me?
So my grand total for the bonus is a 10.
Okay, so it's 10 plus 15, so you get 2 degrees. Because you had to hit 15 to yours, so.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
So yeah, he is pretty hurt.
He's dazed. And is easy to damage.
Okay. Oh boy.
So yeah, Blackjack, go ahead and roll perception for me as well.
No.
See if you see Manta Ray behind you here.
21.
Totally, yeah. You as you arrive, you hear his coming up behind you.
Cool. I think that Dr. Splendid would be aware that Blackjack knows that he's there, and so he'll say to Blackjack, keep chasing that one, and he points up the stairs, and then he will fire at this manta ray.
Okay. Bam!
For a 30.
Oh, this guy is hard to hit. Nice job. Okay, so let's see what kind of damage. What your damage is? What, 17 was it?
17, yeah. It's a holdout pistol. It doesn't do much.
You hit. You
Nice.
damage. Yeah, he's hurting.
It's this little suppressed holdout pistol with a hyper advanced for the 1940s laser sight. Secret Canadian spy technology.
All right, Taro, you're ready with a vicious quip.
Yes, what did I see?
So you saw Neverman It's sort of a vague sense. You see him in the future, very ill, lying in bed, and you see him being asked to heal others, but unable to heal himself.
Ooh. All right. So, I am going to use my taunt. So, I'm going to roll intimidation for that. If that works for you. All right. So, I have a plus 11 on intimidate. I rolled a 12. So,
Bam, I think I'm going to oppose that with Will, and that is a hit. What do you say to taunt him?
you realize that in the end, you're not going to be able to heal yourself for the things that are wasting you away, even though you'll be able to heal everybody else. You're going to end up altruistic against your own will.
Never been altruistic? What?
You see, as he's like you see him kind of climbing up these steps, and there's like a hesitation. Is there any description of the effects of taunt?
I would actually have to look it up all over again.
Okay, that's okay. I'll give him some penalties, and he where are we in our roll here? Yeah, you see that visibly that this affects him just as he starts to disappear up this ladder / stairs.
He is demoralized.
Oh, okay. I will look that up.
I am all over it.
Thank you.
He is impaired. A -2 circumstance penalty on checks until the end of the next round.
You really hurt
With 4 or
his
more
feelings.
degrees of success, it's a -5.
-2 on checks. Okay, Ace, you're up.
Okay, so I saw him pretty much as soon as he brought that up. I'm like, ooh. Okay, so I'm like, as soon as I heard that, I'm like, self-determination and personal agency is what you love, isn't it? I'm going to take that away from you right now. Graviton cuffs. I'm going to start crushing him down. Using it, and pretty much, it's a debilitating condition where you can't move. It starts like,
ooh. God, you have such cool powers. every turn you like whip out some other awesome thing.
I said it's so I'm trying to pretty much immobilize. It's hindered, immobilized, paralyzed.
Okay. Is this an affliction?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Scrim needs to make sure.
Those aren't the cuffs. That's your own self-worth crumbling.
You are your own hubris is crushing you, robbing you of your future.
Okay, so this is all right. What is the affliction rank?
It's affliction rank. Yeah, affliction rank 9, resisted by will, DC 19.
19. Okay. Now,
fortitude or will, I think.
I roll it, or do you roll it?
Yeah, because I don't know if this would be a fortitude save or a will save, because I am causing gravity itself to smoosh him. But I don't know if you would consider that
Makes
will
a resistance check.
Or fortitude. Oh, Opti says fort.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Opte. Fortitude. So it looks like I roll it. Because if you're given the DC, then I'm just gonna go for it. And I do in fact pass.
Damn, I can't force you to reroll that, can I?
I rolled a 22. Yeah, only just, but I was able to. So he as you bring this down, he oh wait, no, I rolled a 20. No, wait. wrong again, because I have -3 circumstance penalty on resistance check. Oh, that's against damage. So just -2. I rolled a 20. So he kind of like, you see him like sag underneath, and he almost falls off these stairs, and then his arm like, and he's able to like his way up, and he says, "You'll never."
I'm right next to him. I am right next to him.
Yeah, you guys are so badass. Okay, Blackjack.
All right, so Neverman's trying to climb to get away, unaided by his boots.
That's correct, and there is a manta ray clone behind you. Dr. Splendid has been shooting at him.
Well, Splendid said that I needed to continue to chase old Neverman, so I'm gonna trust that my old friend. Well, no, I guess this isn't the version that's my.
We're all there.
I'm gonna trust that he's got that, and I'm gonna go after Neverman.
All right.
Can I catch him and hit him, or should I do like an athletics to try and?
Yeah, you can definitely get up to him. He's been slowed considerably.
Good deal. Then I am going to swing on him. Once I can find the right page. There we go.
Bam, bam. Blackjack has some devastating blows. And
25.
yeah, that is definitely a hit. What is your damage?
It's going to be 10 damage. DC 25.
10, okay, so that's 25. Natural 1. And I have a -3, so with that, I don't know if that counts. But
that is a -2, obviously.
-2 on the die. Well, that does end up being a grand total of 10. So you succeed by 3 degrees. Now I think cumulative. You're pretty close to incapacitated, but not quite. Okay. So at 3 degrees, I'm staggered, and I still keep that -1 to the checks. Yeah, go ahead and describe this badass punch.
So you said he was climbing, right?
Yeah, he's going like upstairs.
Okay. So I follow him up the ladder, and once I get to the top of it, I push off with my legs as hard as I can to get up into the air, and I just come down on top of him and just bash him right in the back of the head as he tries to run away.
Oh, so good. He like
Booyah.
he like crumples and like sags, and I think he falls off this ladder. He's on the floor now. Okay, the manta ray with Paladin.
Yes.
Is going to.
In his stupor, what is he doing?
What's he gonna do? So he's like pinned by you, right?
Yeah, I have kind of slammed him into the ground. I'm gonna say he's like face down, and I'm holding the back of his head and kind of like stepping on his legs.
Okay. Let's see.
Well, one of his options would be to squirm.
You can squirm if you like. I think he's going to try to get out with an acrobatics. Can you? Oh, how am I going to do this? What's your strength like value?
My value?
Yeah.
10.
With 10. Okay. So
Yeah.
he's going to use acrobatics to try to get out of this. And fails. So he is like pretty much squirming, and this is someone with great confidence and athletic grace, and expects that he's going to be able to like kind of like kip up and just
No.
but but he squirms, and
the
you
grip
see
around his head, and I will say, I will pop you like a balloon.
You see in his beady, fishy eyes, for the first time, fear. Manta Ray B is going to attack. Dr. Splendid. So let's see. With a 22.
A 22 will get through.
Okay.
What is he?
All right, so
hitting me with?
He's hitting you with. He comes at you with a dagger. And that is damage is 15. Yeah, 15. It seems a little low.
Yeah. That's yeah.
But I think that's right, because he's got a lot of good dodge and things, but he's not quite so
Okay. Has he
striky.
Got a 0. Okay. So that's a tough.
Yeah, so roll toughness. 24. Okay, you're all right. So he
Catch it in his coat, basically.
Awesome. Okay, so as he's stabbing you, you hear a loud bam, and you see. I think only Dr. Splendid sees this because everybody else is focused away from the original spot. But you see a flash of bright light, and you see the third manta ray fall through what used to be a doorway and now is a massive, gaping, smoking hole. And out of this hole comes Gertrude. And as she's walking towards you, she rips off her Nazi armband and throws it on the ground. And she's got like her shoulders are like hulked up. And she looks at Manta Ray and she says, "Don't touch Carl." And it's Paladin's turn.
Well, I've got Manta Ray. I've got the slippery little Nazi where I want him. Let's see. Scram, what happens if, like, say I like do something like sit on him? Or I like just belly flop onto him, crushing him against the deck.
Okay, so
Time for a bear hug.
I guess that would be an unarmed attack.
I mean, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, is that going to like put him out of commission?
I mean, you're pretty sure your suit could crush someone fairly easily. It's made mostly of iron. Yes. Only one way to find out, as Max
All right,
said.
I'm going to give him the most eye-popping bear hug I can muster.
Oh my
Okay,
God,
he
it's like
needs
one
to
of those
have
stressy
more of a
toys.
disadvantage to his dodge here. He's at -1 for damage. I think I'm gonna give it because he tried to get away. I'm gonna give him a -5. You might get him, but he's quick. He can get out of there. So -5 is a lot, but he's got enough to make up for it.
Here we go, and I have a hero point just in case. So actually 2 because I location.
Oh yes.
But here we go, folks. That's a 20.
That'll do it.
Like a fucking vice.
What's your damage?
10.
10, so 25. Oh God, this is so bad for him.
Crunch.
So I rolled a 24. So that was just a lucky roll, straight up. But so he's kind of like tensing all of his muscles. And he's a little bit slippery, like a fish.
Yeah.
So you like, as you crush him, you're kind of trying to grab hold of him. So you do some.
I've got my
serious
legs
damage,
too, and I am basically like, you aren't getting away, my friend. And you just kind of hear like just maybe a little crack.
Okay, my good friend and yours, Neverman. Let's see what Staggered does. Goodness. Where's all my lists of how things affect people? So I can tell you for sure he's not doing much. He is he is battered. His hair is singed. His boots are destroyed.
Buddy's not having a good time right now.
He's not too happy.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Shouldn't have been
Staggered
emergency.
is both dazed and hindered. Everything's daisy chained.
And what is dazed and hindered? Dazed is like
Limited to free
Hindered, I
actions
think
and a
you can't
single
move.
standard action.
Yeah.
right. He can't move. That's what I thought.
Can anyone inflict confused?
Is that the only thing he doesn't have?
Dazed and confused.
I get
I'll
it.
see myself out.
I'm a little slow.
Don't go.
I can use a standard action for movement though. So he kind of like he gets up off the ground on his hands and knees and stands up, and very weakly holds his palms off to his side, and he flies up and away out of this ladder. He's sort of, I think he probably doesn't get terribly far. He's kind of hovering at the top of this ladder. So you can still see him kinda. And Gertrude is pulling a river and losing her shit. Behind you guys. All right. Dr. Splendid. Palmer, that's you.
Sorry about that. What am I doing? There's still a manta ray trying to stab me, right?
Yes.
I suppose that I will. I don't know. He's in melee combat with me now. I'll just try and shoot him anyway.
All right.
Too many windows. There we go.
I hear ya.
Ooh, that was a critical fail.
Yeah, that's a big ol' miss. So your shot goes wide, and it actually goes straight towards Gertrude. But as it goes towards her to hit her, it just shatters in front of her face, and she keeps walking.
This is awesome.
Okay.
All right, Taro.
I'm going to use just a hair of precognitive action and hold my action for some moment to upset something a bad guy'll do.
Love it. Ace.
All right. I was at the top of the thing trying. So he's kind of what next to me. Give her.
Yeah, he's trying to get past you. Sorry, Jules, you're cutting out. You can't hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. And it's just like, I'm just gonna, as he's flying up, I'm gonna reach my hand out to him. It's like, you want to see what a real juice jerker can do? I'm gonna fry his hand things and have him fall and take the falling damage.
Oh no.
Electromagnetic. I'm going to fry his hand bits. Just,
All right, roll it.
Jules, those are called fingers for future.
No, the thrusters, the propeller, the whatever the hell it is.
I had to, I'm sorry. Hand bits. I'm like, them's fingers. Look at my hand bits. No, I love it.
23.
I'm trying to fry his stuff.
I've got like minus a million on all these checks. Yeah, that's definitely a hit.
And so it's like, so I just kind of look at those and I just for dramatic flair, because it's disturbing and nasty, I'm going to look at him and just both hands go up and snap. And they're going to start sizzling and frying and throwing off sparks and shut down. He's just going to go whoop. And I'm just going to do the bye-bye, kind of like as he's falling.
Before you do that, actually, it's the damage that'll do that. So
It is...
I'll roll against that.
It is the electromagnet is a damage 10.
Damage 10. Okay, so I rolled a 30, but I have a bunch of minuses. But I think I'm still past a 25. Yeah, so I rolled a total of 27. Yeah, so you try to sputter them out, and they are not, they're failing. They're not great, but they kind of sputter and then roar back to life.
Damn it. Nut bunnies. Can somebody just stop him? Either that or
just get him.
Immobilize him, because I can breathe in space and he can't. Literally.
I'm your only
Yeah.
Shut your mouth, please.
You've had all these
Getting
great
better.
attacks, but there's been always some kind of damage thing. You got only, I think you hit one. Blackjack.
All right, so I've come up the ladder, and then it appears that Neverman came back down the ladder after I hit him, and then Ace hit him. So both Manta and Neverman are down there at the bottom, right?
Neverman managed to get himself back up, actually. Yeah, he's hovering at the top of this ladder.
Yeah, he's on par with.
Is he 30 feet away from Manta Ray? Or within 30 feet?
I'd say they're within 30 feet, yeah.
All right, cool. Then with that, seeing that it appears that Mr. Splendid is having a bit of problems with the Manta Ray man, I am going to use my alternate effect, and I am going to drop a jackboot on both of these guys.
Ooh.
Okay.
Is there any way I can help set that up?
Oh yeah, you were holding.
Yeah, what exactly does this look like?
Basically, telekinetic energy goes into both of my feet, and I drop to the ground, and it bursts out up to 30 feet.
Towards those two specific targets, or to everybody?
I can use my protection to defend targets if I need to.
Okay.
And if I need to use an extra effort to add a second person on there to protect Ace from it, I will.
Okay, I think, yeah, you probably just have to protect Dr. Splendid.
Can I do a precog to know what would distract them just enough that they wouldn't think to jump?
So do they have to be connected to the ground? Because right now Neverman is hovering.
No, it's just a sphere. It's a sphere.
Okay. I think for Taro, this you could distract them so they're not really prepared for his actual attack. So I think that could give him a bonus.
Okay. I jump out of the Jurassic Park car with a flare and go, hey, hey, hey! Man, Jules loved that. All right.
All right. How much of a bonus does that give me?
Is it?
It's up to you, boss.
Oh, it's up to me? I'm going to say +2. Let's say +3. Feeling generous.
Sorry about that, folks.
I'm going to use a hero. Yeah, that's with everything added in. I'm going to use a hero point to re-roll that.
Go for it.
Come on.
Do you have to take the second result, or is it the better?
No. If the second result is below a 10, I can add 10 to it. So that would be, it was a 4, so it'd be a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
21. Okay, that's a little more
better,
like
but
it.
a little better.
So you do not get Manta Ray, but you do get Neverman.
Good.
Okay.
How much damage is this?
That is going to be another damage 10, DC 20.
25, I think that is.
My burst is actually 5 less.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you hit Neverman with this. It's like a boot, like a kick kind of deal.
It's a telekinetic burst, so it would be just essentially telekinetic energy going out from my feet.
So he doesn't appear to have taken any damage, but he seems a little off kilter. From between Ace just about to get rid of his hand rockets and you shifting him sideways with this hit, he is definitely off his
Kilter?
kilter. Yes, that's what is a kilter. Okay. So Manta Ray, I think he's gonna keep going on Dr. Splendid here. Oh, I rolled a natural 20 on that one.
Ooh.
All right. It's them.
Okay, let me just double check my critical rules.
I'm going to interpose because it
Oh.
appears that he is about to take a very heavy hit, so I will take that attack for him.
Excellent. Okay. So in this case, I can impose a threat, but I think let's do damage first. So his damage is 15. No, it's gotta be more than that. No, yeah, it's 15.
Okay. And this is the first time in a while that I've taken damage. What do I need to do on that toughness, right?
Roll toughness, yeah. Ah, 16.
16.
All right, so you're okay.
Having great rolls so far. I mean, a 2 and that one, a 4 and the one before. Come on.
So with the critical, I think you interpose yourself, and he manages to hit you, and you shrug off the damage. But I think the threat is that
He still gets his bell rung, doesn't he? He creates a hole in the side of one of these walls with this hit. Instead of hitting you and damaging you, like the damage doesn't go through to you, but it goes through, like he's got his knife and it kind of hits this wall, and somehow the wall like sort of crumbles. And So he put a hole in the
creates-
bulkhead.
Well, this is like within the ship. So he's
Okay.
not, it's not the exterior of the ship, but he's created like an escape route for himself. So he kind of looks around and dashes through it. And then it is Paladin's turn. Oh wait, this guy gets a chance to kind of try to get out of here. He's going to try to squirm out again. He's got
He's
even
gonna
less of
wriggle.
a chance.
He's gonna
Oh
wriggle.
yeah, he fails. He fails.
Well, I think it's very, unless something else is happening, unless it's just me, buddy here. I'm gonna give him one more beautiful squeeze until he just like conks the F out. I'm gonna
Okay, go ahead.
literally put this man in a sleeper hold. Here we go.
Oh, so rough.
It's a 16.
16.
I like that we've just decided to like beat this guy with love. Like,
I mean,
love
at this
conquers
point,
all.
you're right, yeah. At this point, you've grabbed him, so he can't he really can't do much against it.
And it's another basically 25 due to math.
because he already tried to get away from you. Yeah. So
Yeah, he's.
let's roll his toughness. You definitely knock him out. And as this happens, Paladin's basically popping his eyeballs. The other
just
manta ray,
go to sleep, buddy. Come on.
he goes limp.
Pissing me off here.
The other manta ray that's escaping out this hole turns into just water, turns into goo and splashes on the floor.
Hey, his water broke.
That's real funny.
I'm still snarky.
I hate this.
Neverman
I have
sees
to
this happen.
see that.
And And he gives up. He stops hovering and lands on the ground in front of you and says, "Okay, all right, enough." He's bleeding from different places and his hair's all singed and his boots are broken, and he says, "If you don't understand what I'm doing here, then I can't." And Gertrude screams from behind you, and she her scream creates this column of energy that just radiates into his face, and it just starts to melt in front of you. And he kind of lets out this strangled, gurgling scream, and then collapses in a fizzing pile of twisted metal and melted flesh.
Oh,
well, I was wrong.
You know what? That's fair.
Sorry, and we were supposed to protect her? Is that what I'm to understand?
And I feel like Paladin's coming up with the Manta Ray.
Sorry, you cut out when you said Manta Ray.
So she's got Manta Ray kind of just like a sack of potatoes. She comes up and she sees Neverman fucking melted, and she looks, I think she looks at Ace and going, "Hey, what y'all do?" Who is Ace pointing to, for context?
I at the same time kind of hover down, I scooch down a little bit, and I'm upside down, so I can at least keep my head down there with my feet up in the air, and I just point to Gertrude as just like, "Hell hath no fury," right?
So Paladin takes off her helmet, her glasses for a second, and says, "Well, you got a clean bill of health." Shit. Kind of whomps Manta Ray down on the deck, just like.
And Gertrude, she wipes blood from her chin, and she's breathing deeply, and she says, "Okay, She's shaking. She seems really afraid of these new powers. She says, "Look, they were trying to use me as a communication tool. And I think that we can save Oslo if we go now. They haven't taken the city yet, and they were sending reinforcements. They said they sank one of their ships, and they're trying to get the king and the prime minister, and they're going to destroy them. We have to go. We have to go help the Norwegians."
I think that's our next.
Let's go.
Next stop, Oslo.
And I think if we're gonna cut scene right after this, I think Dr. Splendid will just be like, "Well, I guess it sounds like my arguments did go through that."
Gertrude looks at you and puts a hand on your shoulder and says, I feel great sorrow, Carl, but I think you were right." And she winks at you. And we will take our break right there. I don't know about you guys, but my heart is still pounding from that combat a little bit.
Man,
And from our future task, our upcoming task of saving Oslo from the clutches of the Nazi Empire. They invaded yesterday. Today is April 9th, 1940. And you, having heard from Gertrude, they were using her as a communications device. She knows that they are still on the ground there. They're having trouble taking Oslo, and that your intervention could turn the tides of the battle and the war. So, off you go to Oslo, I assume?
Full steam ahead. That's my plan.
How are you guys gonna get there? Are we piggybacking again?
there's
we have a
two.
ship.
That's I
we've
can,
got a boat.
I'm gonna drive this ship after
I'll
tying
navigate.
up all the Nazis that are probably waking up.
I can actually set your navigation. I do have stellar navigation as a skill. I can help you navigate.
Nice.
Eat.
All right.
I'm an astronomer, astrophysicist. I'm a scientist.
And you're in the North Sea. You're not terribly far from Oslo. You're just south on the coast. So you're able to navigate, and you can see north of you the fjords of Norway. And you get in close, and you see German ships, Norwegian ships. There are British ships coming in and joining the fray. There, you see one giant cruiser is just finishing sinking down into the ground. You hear the Germans singing their national anthem. You see guns from the top of the cliffs are peppering these ships that are coming in with fire, and you see planes coming in overhead, bombing the city. Gertrude looks up and says, "Right up there, the cliff's up there. We'll get a good vantage point of the city, and we can make our move."
Ellie, want to take her up?
Sure, why not? Climb on my back and hold on tight.
Yeah. So are you all going up there?
Zoom.
So there's a naval battle that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Dr. Splendid might try and see if there are weapons on this ship to help with that, because he can't fly up there. There's not enough people to carry everybody without multiple trips, so he'll wait. Everybody else can go up, and he'll be here on the boat trying to figure something
Staying
else.
by yourself on the boat?
Actually, I can actually help you operate the sonar and the radar.
That's fine. No, he's fine to kind of just run around by himself trying to figure it out for a little bit anyway. He'll set up a radio so that you guys can all stay in contact by radio. I think. Let's do that.
You can do that through me.
Can I make a memory check to see how this battle was actually fought and how it went in the actual past?
Sure,
Hey,
go for it.
precognition's my thing.
research.
This is more like
I know.
cognition.
See?
Time is confusing.
The
Time
funny
muckery.
thing- The funny thing is,
Yeah, go
this
ahead and
is
roll a
literally-
blackjack and tell me what is your history with history? Is this something he might know?
He's always been very interested in the origin of superheroes and powers. So the fact of the home planet, he's always been very intrigued about.
Okay.
And because he signed up for this, he did a little bit of World War II studying.
Nice. All right, let's see that roll. An intellect, I guess. Oh, history check. Oh, awesome. Okay.
It's
So,
30.
you know, two notable things. First, the Guardian allies, as far as you know, did not intervene with this battle. And number two, Norway lost.
Okay. All right. So now, Blackjack's having a crisis of conscience here. because his complication is he can't change history no matter how badly he wants to. You said we have radios, right?
Yeah, you like the ship would have enough that you'd be able to.
Okay. I will transmit to everyone what I remember about this battle and inform them that we cannot intervene on either side in any real capacity unless we're stopping some other superhero from intervening. Our job was to correct the warp in history, not to change it differently.
I'm gonna look at Taro.
Taro is staring at the radio with tears in his eyes and a giant smile. And will never ever forget the debt which has been given, the debt he has incurred today, and the favor Blackjack has done him.
Happy to help, I guess.
So at this moment, Gertrude kneels down and says to Taro, "You can see the future, yes?"
Smile drops away and look at her.
That's what you were doing on the ship, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, tell us, where are our efforts best served? How can we continue to free the Norwegian people?
Stay on the ground.
On the ground
Don't-
in the city?
There's a certain place we can go. It'll let the right people get away, and that's good for morale. And looking at her like I totally don't trust her.
She kind of gets the vibe from you and goes, "Oh, okay, all right. Well, let's go then."
Could you stand over there, please?
Over where?
Points 10 feet away.
I think that conversation is happening up on the cliff top or still on the ship?
This would be up on the cliff top.
Okay.
Yeah.
As that's happening, I think what Dr. Splendid is going to do is realize that he's there's not too much that he can do, but he sees this German fleet essentially, and there is there's a cruiser that's sort of in the center, and he can pick up on the German radios because this is a Nazi ship. He can pick up the naval chatter and understand it. So he finds out that this is the flagship, the Blucher, where the Rear Admiral is commanding this fleet from. And
unfortunately, the Blucher has already sunk.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we're in the afternoon because it sunk at. I had to look this up. 6 a.m.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
We can't. I know what we can do, and I know what we can do. I know what we can do, and this is all that Ace starts seeing is like, oh my god, I know what we can do. This might be the time. They never were able to. Bletchley Park. Bletchley Park. This is where we get the Enigma machine. It is picked up by Great Britain when they are able to board a German U-boat. This might be a time where we could do that, but they picked it up a year before the sinking of the Bismarck in 1941. This is where we might be able to get an Enigma machine to Bletchley.
Oh, right, but are you the ones who do it?
All they say is a ship boarded a sinking Navy U-boat. All we have to do is make sure that they're steering in the right direction and are able to pull it.
Right, but is the lady still right next to me?
She kind of shuffled away when you told her to move. She's a little unnerved by that.
We have to hold on to a certain part of the city, and that way the Norwegian government and the royalty, they can get away, and that's going to keep Norwegian spirits high, even though things are going to get real bad, and that way the whole world doesn't blow up.
Okay.
We can do that.
I don't know what an Enigma machine is, and I'm sorry, Miss Ace, and I don't know about a ship. I just know we have to get them out of there, and or we just have to keep the Germans from taking a certain part of the city, and then it'll be okay.
So I think at that point, Dr. Splendid radios out to Paladin that he wants to get picked up to come join the rest of them, and he's just going to pick the biggest Nazi ship he can see and point this ship at it and put it on flank speed, and then go stand off on the back to get picked up.
Okay.
And
Paladin upon this shit and just dive bombs before picking Splendid up and going, "You are nuts, Doc."
In the meantime, here's the other thing we can do is I actually can pilot a tin fish. So it doesn't look like supers are getting in this.
Okay, so you have a lot of different options. It sounds like, Dr. Splendid, you want to come up to the city.
I would just want to join everybody else now. I think that was a poor decision at the beginning.
So what do you all decide to do? Are you going to follow Taro's directions, or are you going to try something else?
Does the people that he's wanting to save survive this day? Historically?
You're not sure. You're fuzzy on that part.
Would I also maybe have some knowledge on this? I have eidetic memory, if that helps.
Both of us do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think this is something specific that you would have studied. It's a crucial but narrow narrative that was part of this invasion. So you're not 100% sure.
Shit.
Okay, so as Splendid and arrives back with Paladin with the rest of the group, he sort of goes to Gertrude and is like, just as everyone else is sort of discussing and talking and, we should do this, we should do that. And he just, what do you think we should do? We're here because of you.
Lose the battle, win the war. Save the heart. Save the heart of the people so that way the underground can work. Mm-hmm. They work. I know they work with the Free French in to oppose the Vichy.
That. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sorry. I think she kind of gestures towards Taro and turns to the rest of you and says, "Has he steered you wrong before?"
Lead the way, kid.
Yep. I like what the kid's idea is.
What is the region that we have to protect?
Pardon me?
What is the area of the city that we have to keep out of German hands?
The government sector. So this is where the Bank of Norway is, their parliament, their where their seat of power is in the city.
Okay.
And you can already see that from your vantage point, you can see German troops focusing on that area, and you see bombs going down. The Luftwaffe are dropping bombs on that area as well. So yeah, you bring them to this quarter of Norway, and it's chaos. There are already buildings that are rubble. And you see people running, scurrying to and fro. You hear shouts, you hear gunfire. And I think the way we're going to do this, we're not going to make a major battle, not with the regular mechanics of the game. But you tell me what you're looking for and what you're trying to like if you're going up to get an aerial view, if you're trying to find the exact right people, if you're whatever you want to do, you tell me what it is and we'll work it out and kind of abstract it.
We have to leave the plains alone. And we have to keep the German infantry from immediately seizing the capital area.
Okay.
Why don't we scramble their comms?
Okay, excellent.
If we can prevent the easy communication, it's going to stall them storming.
Okay, let's start with Ace then. Can you roll your magical electromagnetic thing, whatever that is? Try to scramble their
This would be a
comms.
transmutation, and what it would do is screw it. It pretty much is like it from ship to ship to ship. It's not. You're just gonna leave.
Awesome. Go for it.
Kevin, what? You have your finger up.
Thank you. Can I monitor like what we're doing to see if it's the wrong step as we're making it?
Okay, so you're kind of like keeping your finger on the pulse of the future.
Of time, exact. Well put.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's do it.
Only an 11.
Okay, so you reach out. You're able to mess around with a few communications.
At least in the front lines.
For sure, yeah.
Those are in the back that are kind of like, what are they talking about?
I'd say you see a slowing in their activity, kind of as in the course of this battle. And Taro, you're feeling good about that.
Okay, I'm just like nodding.
Just kind of like,
Let's go.
I think that. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Paladin's kind of been just like, okay, how can I? Is there anywhere a sick bay is needed or something, or one that could use a doctor? She'd probably like to fly out there and start administering. Especially
along the escape route, actually setting up a triage center along the escape route, so that way less people need carrying, so that way you're able to filter more people out.
Yeah. So you see kind of like a line of people running from a building, running from the bank, and they look like they're carrying heavy things. And there's just as you see this plane screams above and drops its load right beside them, and the shrapnel and the rubble knocks them over. And you see they're carrying valuable items, gold and personal items and a bunch of other stuff.
I think we found the royalty, and Paladin is going to zoom over, set down, start kind of making sure everybody's okay, first of all, and of course using her therapist voice to just kind of rouse everybody. And then she's going to pick up some of the heavy shit and start and say, well, and who are you? Don't mind it. I'm just here to help. And
all right.
She's going to follow their lead.
Okay. Taro, you're feeling good. You're feeling good about that. What about Blackjack and Dr. Splendid? You haven't actually seen the royal family. This group of people they're carrying gold out of the bank.
I'm keeping an eye on Taro throughout this process, just to make sure that he doesn't get hit by random debris or a plane crashing or a random bullet.
Awesome. And as you're watching, you see a squad of infantry form up at an alleyway behind you, of Nazi infantry coming in to try to infiltrate.
Rubble, follow them ahead.
And you said, where was that? You said
they're in an alleyway just adjacent to you and Taro.
How, looking up above them, do any of these buildings appear to be crumbling or anything destroyed on them?
At the moment, they haven't been damaged, but there's rubble in the street below.
Or you could knock part of it over on them. I mean,
Let me take a look at my telekinesis and see how much I can move at once. Okay. I'm going to use my telekinetic movement and try to break something on the top of the building loose to try and drop it on them to make it appear to be...
Awesome.
yeah, because that's falling debris. That was like one of the major things that killed people. But the problem is bombing is indiscriminate, and they often hit their own people.
Someone's been playing Mage the Ascension. No paradox here.
Can you let's get a roll to see the extent of your damage there, Blackjack.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Sorry, I'm cheering. You're awesome. You're so cool.
I do not know what kind of a roll telekinetic movement would be, so I guess I will use the
Ranged
same one as
attack will work.
Okay, I can do that.
We haven't had many crits in this yet.
24.
24, solid. You incapacitate half of the squad. The others are disorganized and are routed by Norwegian infantry. Dr. Splendid, Gertrude is she's with you.
Yeah, I think that we should look for the king and his family. And I think that Dr. Splendid is aware that the king is a sort of he's a very strong person, and he knows that if he can get that royal family, that he will be able to be a strong leader. They need their leader because he's a strong person. So he's also Dr. Splendid is also able to speak Norwegian. So it will be easy for him. That is one of his powers, as previously mentioned, in his head. He can understand and speak all languages. So I think he will go to sort of just by tracking down where the Norwegian troops are kind of defending the most, because they should be defending the monarch, probably inside of one of the government buildings. So he will try to make his way there with Gertrude to convince the royal family to evacuate sooner rather than later, because it's not going well.
The Norwegian army does not allow this. They see you approaching, and they ask you. They say in Norwegian, "We're evacuating the city. Get it to safety, citizen."
So he is. Dr. Splendid says. Well, at this point, he is a military officer, so he would probably somewhere on him. Gertrude doesn't know about any of this, but that's okay. She's gonna find out right about now. So he'll sort of give her a side eye and say, "I'll explain later," and then he'll rummage in his clothes and basically pull out his Canadian military ID. Shows that he's an officer in His Majesty's army, and explain that he's been undercover with the Germans and that he has critical information for His Majesty.
Can you roll something to convince these fine folks?
How about persuasion?
Let's do that.
Well, let's see here.
But is it a lie?
This Canadian seems cool.
Yeah,
Let him
a 24 on persuasion.
Da 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 da.
They go through the appropriate checks. They kind of they radio in and they're talking to a commanding officer, comes out and chats with you. So they're not just letting people hang out with the royals willy-nilly. But in the end, they allow you, but not Gertrude, to enter, escorting.
Okay. So he'll make a point to be, just sort of make eye contact with her and just say, I'll be back shortly. And
she
then
looks
he'll go.
crestfallen. Not that she's left behind, but that everything she knows about Carl is a lie.
Not everything, just his name and country of origin. So then, I guess he's going to go speak to the royal.
So it's strange to you how you see a man sitting in a hallway, beside a couple of other people, and they're dressed in civilian clothing, unassuming, and you almost walk right past them when your escort stops you and nudges you towards them, and you see His Majesty King Haakon. And he looks up at you and says, "This is the Canadian, yes?"
Dr. Splendid gives an appropriate bow for a military situation. And
yeah, he is Canadian for sure.
That's
just Swedish.
He sure looks Canadian.
He introduced
Norwegians all
himself
sound
as
relatively similar. This is my blood.
he introduces himself to the king, and says, and explains basically the reason of why explains that he was with a group of fellow special forces, special agents up on the cliff tops above the city, and he knows that His Majesty will never surrender, but it does seem as though the city will be lost. And he just wanted to bring the recommendation that the people need their leader.
He nods and he says, "These are dark times. And you're right, the city is lost. But we have not lost the country. And we will continue on in spite of this aggravation." And he says, "Would you do a service to my country, Doctor?"
Certainly. How can we help?
He kind of gestures, and a group of people in royal regalia come out, and he says, "Would you don my uniform and lead the enemy in the wrong direction?" And one of his lackeys comes out with a royal uniform for you to wear. And there's like 6 different false kings that are there, and he's asking you to be one of them.
Nice. That sounds awesome. Doesn't say that, obviously. Okay, he will say that this is actually an excellent plan. I would be happy to be a part of it. My compatriots are elsewhere in the city helping where they can. I have a woman with me, so the two of us will... we can certainly cause some trouble for the invaders, some distraction.
He nods and says, "Thank you. And may God protect us all."
All right.
And he walks away with an escort. So you're ordered to take your uniform in a random direction. You're given strict instructions where not to go. Okay. Otherwise, you're supposed to there's you're one of several directions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Splendid has the complication that he is part of the military hierarchy, so he will have to follow all those recommendations.
Okay.
But he will take Gertrude along after he changes his outfit.
So you head through in this royal garb, and Gertrude is preventing. She's going beside you, and you hear fire, you hear bombs, and she's kind of reacting to it. And it's not invariable. She doesn't have full control over her powers yet, but she's like stopping shrapnel from hitting you, and dodges you out of the way with unnatural speed a couple of times.
You're doing great.
Okay, well, let's just get out of here. And I imagine you've all chosen a rendezvous point. Taro, Taro, you feel confident that everyone's on the right track so far. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Oh, I'm extremely pleased with my current course of action and wish to continue doing so.
Perfect. So as the city falls, you complete your various tasks. And Taro, you see a man in a couple of men dressed in plain clothes, a tweed blazer and a hat, and they slip out past you and kind of catch a glance of you as they go, and you see you have a precognition that there is a Nazi soldier somewhere behind you, that is going to try to attack you and this group of men. Can
I see anything notable about which one?
About which person?
Yeah.
Is going to be attacked?
No, which person's going to do the attacking?
It is a, I don't want to say random, but a single infantryman who's got separated from his squad by Blackjack, and now is going rogue. And you see he's like just kind of around the side of a building, and he's about to attack. And if you don't warn these men, that he will successfully take them down.
All right. And they're not Nazis or something, so yeah, I'm going to call out to them. Look out, there'll be a Nazi behind you!
So two of them whirl around, and they, like, with instant military reflexes, they turn around and pow, 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 shoot him dead. And the king doffs his hat to you and walks away with them. So you all head back to your rendezvous point, and you watch as the city of Oslo, Norway, burns and is bombed to rubble. And you see as the Norwegian flag is brought down and the Nazi flag is raised. And the sun is setting. I imagine you're back on the cliffs. You don't have a ship anymore, so
Toot.
I think at that point it would be Dr. Splendid would try to call in sort of something from, an evacuation with assistance from probably the British Navy, just to, because they were assisting with evacuating once they realized that there was no winning.
Call for an extraction?
Yeah, basically. I think that's something he would be able to do.
Okay, so you're evacuated by the Brits, who are already there. You managed to get yourself onto a ship, and they bring you back. And your captain expects a full report, and also who the F is this doctor guy.
Canadian.
Canadian.
Don't worry, he's Canadian.
And you watch the events unfold in Norway, and Norway is completely captured by the Germans, and it stays that way till nearly the very end of the war. But the main result, political result of this takeover, is that the Prime Minister is blamed for Britain's failure to defend Norway. And he's so lambasted by the media that he is called to resign. And so Neville Chamberlain resigns as Prime Minister and is replaced by Winston Churchill, who leads the country to victory. And despite the irony that Winston Churchill was the Admiral of the Navy and in charge of most of the main responses to the Norway disaster, but he proves to be a tenacious and unrelenting leader who ends up winning the war and freeing the world from the influence of the Nazis of the 1940s. Yeah. The Guardian Allies make a name for themselves and go on to complete many more adventures. Dun, da, da.
Oh, man.
My happy conclusion music.
I love it. Oh, man. So does Gertrude come with us, or does she want to go back to being a Nazi?
Gertrude is not interested in being a Nazi. She feels betrayed by her country and quite.
She probably would join the 20 committee at this point, which is probably one of the biggest counter intel things that British ever did before D-Day.
Yeah, I think she would definitely become a spy because of her perfect German and her flipped loyalties.
But they did.
I'm just saying
that Dr. Splendid would help with that.
Marvel Cinematic Universe, Red Skull flipped on the Nazis too.
Then maybe, and she begins to experiment with her powers and does some fun, crazy things. Who knows what could happen there? But yes, to conclude, I would like to ask. I've been in charge of the music this whole time, but the fabulous Jules revealed to us that she's a talented clarinetist. Sure.
I think you're going a little too much with that one, but I'll take the compliment. Thank you.
Okay, a passing clarinetist.
So I will respectfully ask Jules to play us out.
Please bear with me. 3 seconds.
I also kind of imagine this is like a thing like Ace plays for people.
We're hanging out in the officers club, you know.
Yeah.
Finally getting that stiff drink we all know we
Clarinetist.
Clarinet.
Thank you, Jules.
was muted. Dang it. I was like about to clap and I'm like, oh,
Gorgeous.
amazing though. Amazing.
He's so good.
Oh, thanks. I was half tempted to pull a kind of like a salute to the fall of, but I'm thinking now I'll go a little bit nicer than saluting the fall.
Salute the rise.
And with that, we say adieu to the Guardian allies, at least for the first run of Guardian allies. Who knows? They may have a future together yet. So, or I suppose a past. How's everybody doing?
This was a really fun campaign, honestly.
What a way to end it. What a way to end it. We
Everybody.
melted someone to goo.
Demand of Opti that there be more of this. Demand that Scrim provide us more of this high quality gameitude.
I mean,
Insist upon it.
Or at least politely beg.
I am Canadian. I respond better to that.
Oh gosh.
I've decided I might follow this show.
I officially like Optiverse.
Brilliant. Absolutely lovely.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to DM for such an intimidatingly talented cast.
Oh, stop. Stop.
And,
That intro knocked my socks off.
Yeah, even when I spoke over you a little bit there. It's all good. Okay, well, why don't we do our outros and we'll say sayonara. Let's go in reverse order. We're going to start with James.
Dang it. All right.
Surprise! It's you!
I've been James. I've been playing Blackjack. You can find me on Deniable Assets, as well as a super secret project that we are talking about coming out in January. So be on the lookout for that. You can find us on the Twitters, the patrons, the everywhere you get your social medias. Let's be honest.
Awesome. Palmer.
And I've just been playing Dr. Splendid. Palmer is my name. I think probably most people will know me from Radio Free Detroit as the producer and writer for Ziggy the Troll. That's at Ziggy the Troll SR.podbean.com or on also all the social medias. The only other thing I'd like is for if anyone's sort of not as familiar with that, check out the Blackout short audio drama series that we did with Deniable Assets and Mr. Opti himself. That's a good place to start if you haven't listened to anything.
Awesome. And Kevin.
Hi, I've been Kevin R. Zarnicki. Who I'll be tomorrow is up to you. There's plenty of games coming from Shadowrun, a couple of projects I can't talk about right now, but also an upcoming stream in addition to me showing up on Gamers Tavern with Daryl Mott all the damn time. Follow me on Twitter at Necromancy101 or on Facebook by my name, and keep you posted.
Jules.
All right. I'm Jules Watts. I played Amethyst Ace, and it was a delight. I am a co-host on the Seize the GM podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we have like a Discord thing if you want to come and chat. It's all about how to be a good GM. I've got my own podcast, 5 Degrees Off Normal, for what it's like to be a brain-damaged gamer and what the world looks like through that kind of an eyes. And I'll be on it. The reason you heard me play is because Opti double dared me, and he knows that makes it. I can't turn that down. But I occasionally write, and stop by, say hi. On Twitter, I'm at Jules Podcaster. So stop in, say hello. I'm always up to at least bad puns and jokes.
Excellent. Allie.
Wow, I'm being asked to cap off this thing. Holy shit. Okay, so I've been favorite power armor, Bear Mom, Paladin, and holy crap, I just realized so much has freed up. So I'm a photographer by trade. You'll be able to start finding me on the World Wide Web and Instagram at Still Developing Photography. I'm setting that up right now, so just be on the lookout for that. I made a short film about anxiety. You can find it under the YouTube channel under my name, Allison Belladonna. I am currently making a documentary about family farms in my area of origin, southeastern Minnesota. So that's a fun little iron in the fire. I do a Shadowrun podcast called Awakened, a Sixth World Shadowcast, all about magic in the Sixth World. It's in character and it's really, really fun. There's a touch of goose in the next episode that I'm currently working on. So, and I'm finally ready to get back to my own live streaming under twitch.tv/digitalley. I'm thinking for our triumphant return, we're going to play one of my favorite games with a fun little twist. So yeah, be on the lookout. I've got irons in the fire. I'm finally not stressed all the time. So do some shit. Let's have some fun.
Hooray, hooray. And I'm Scrim. I was everyone else. And I have the privilege of being part of the Joining the Anarchy crew right now. We are running Cyberpunk Red, so join us tomorrow at 9 Eastern. Yes, 9 Eastern. Sorry, had to do some time zone math there. Where we've got the fabulous Trav running things, and Oz and Paige and I are the players. And I'm also going to be part of a GM advice discussion panel that is going to be happening on Gamers Table. It happens every Sunday at 10 Eastern. If you are looking for some GM advice, and I will be on in a couple of weeks, so that'll be lots of fun. And that's all, folks. So thanks everybody for coming out. It was so much fun to play with you all and chat. You are all magical rock stars. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Sláinte.